The Habsburgs. There is an eagle with two heads. One looks east, the other looks west. And beneath them, for 6 centuries, the heart of half of Europe beat. We are not talking about a coat of arms. We are talking about an idea of the world, a conception of power so ancient, so elaborate, so sumptuous as to seem almost impossible, almost invented. The Habsburgs. The name alone carries weight. It weighs like stone. It weighs like gold. To say Habsburg is to say something that goes beyond politics, beyond war, beyond genealogy. It means entering a universe where power and beauty were the same thing, where to rule also meant to create, where the throne was at once lectern, altar, and stage. Let us talk about it. It all begins in 1273. A nearly unknown Swiss count, Rudolf of Habsburg, a man many considered too modest for the role he was about to assume. They elect him emperor of the Holy Roman Empire precisely because they think they can control him. Fatal mistake. From that moment, the Habsburgs never stop. Marriages, alliances, with the century-long patience that only certain families know how to sustain. Bella gerent alii to Felix Austria nube. Let others wage war. You, happy Austria, marry. It was their motto, and it worked. Within 2 centuries, they control Spain, the Low Countries, Portugal, much of Italy, Mexico, Peru. The empire on which the sun never sets. That title was theirs, long before anyone attributed it to the British. Then comes the division, the Spanish branch, the Austrian branch. 2 roads, 2 destinies, but a single vision of the world. Order, hierarchy, magnificence as a moral obligation. You want to understand the Habsburgs? Go to Vienna, on foot, walk along the Ring, look at the State Opera, look at the Kunsthistorisches Museum, look at the Hofburg, the palace that grew wing by wing like something alive, like something that could not be stopped. The Habsburgs understood something that very few rulers in history have ever grasped. Naked power inspires fear, but power dressed in beauty creates devotion. Patrons, builders, collectors, the Spanish riding school, the Imperial Opera, Mozart playing as a child before Maria Theresa, and she takes him in her arms. Haydn, Beethoven, who dedicates a symphony to Napoleon and then strikes his name from it. But Vienna endures and remains the center of the musical world for a century. This is no accident. It is a project. Conscious or otherwise, it matters not. The result is a civilization, something recognizable, breathable, still present in the cafes of Vienna, where one drinks a melange and reads the newspaper. That unhurriedness, that care, that sense that time is a resource too precious to be spent in haste. It is Habsburg. It is still Habsburg. Franz Joseph, Emperor of Austria, King of Hungary, King of Bohemia, King of Croatia. The list of titles occupied half a page. He ascends the throne at 18, in 1848, in the midst of the revolutions shaking all of Europe. And he remains there for 68 years. 68. No one else in the modern era has reigned so long over a territory so complex, not even Queen Victoria. You picture him old, with white side whiskers and a green military uniform, always the same uniform, always the same cut, as if time could not afford to touch him. He rose at 4 in the morning. He worked 12 hours a day. He allowed himself no holidays. He allowed himself no weakness. And yet fate reserved the most harrowing losses for him. His son Rudolf, dead by his own hand at Merling. The empress, his beloved Sisi, assassinated in Geneva. His brother Maximilian, shot in Mexico. His nephew and heir Franz Ferdinand, killed in Sarajevo. Franz Joseph lost everything. And each time he put the uniform back on, returned to his desk, signed the documents. There is a photograph. He is very old. His eyes look towards some distant point. They are not sad eyes. They are eyes that have seen too much to permit themselves the luxury of sadness. That face is the face of real power, not arrogant power, power that costs. And her, Sisi, Elizabeth of Bavaria, a bride at 16, an empress at 17, she was not made for that role, and she knew it. The court suffocated her, the protocols imprisoned her. Her mother-in-law, Archduchess Sophie, decided everything, even how her children were to be raised. And so she fled. She traveled, constantly. Greece, England, Portugal, Corfu, where she had a villa built and verses by Heine carved into its walls. She starved herself. She trained obsessively. She had a waist of 56 centimeters that she guarded like a relic. Her hair, long to the knees, chestnut, almost black, required 3 hours of attention each morning. It was a form of control, the only one left to her. Her body was her territory, the only one over which she truly reigned. When she died, stabbed by an anarchist on the quayside of Lake Geneva in 1898, the world held its breath, not because a sovereign had died, but because an idea of unrepeatable grace had died. And the legend began there, in the films, in the books, in the exhibitions, in the museum at the Hofburg, where her gowns, her weighing scales, her gymnastic apparatus are still preserved today. Millions of people each year stand before those objects in silence. They are looking for something. Perhaps they are looking for proof that she truly existed. Go to Budapest, sit in a cafe in the Jewish quarter, listen to the old men talk. Go to Prague, enter a Baroque palace, look up at the ceilings. Go to Trieste, breathe that air, half sea, half Mitteleuropa, that melancholy elegance that resembles no other Italian city. Go to Sarajevo, walk across the bridge where everything ended. In all these places, you still sense something, a memory lodged in the body of the cities, a nostalgia that is not sentimentality. It is something more precise. It is the regret for an order that worked, for a coexistence that, for all its tensions, held. Within the Habsburg Empire lived together Germans, Hungarians, Czechs, Slovaks, Poles, Croats, Slovenes, Italians, Romanians, Jews. 12 official languages, a single bureaucracy, a single army, a single emperor. It was not a paradise, it was an equilibrium, difficult, fragile, exhausting, but it worked. Then comes the 28th of June, 1914. Sarajevo, Gavrilo Princip, 2 pistol shots, Franz Ferdinand falls, and with him, everything falls. Not at once. A month passes, then a summer, then 4 years of trenches, of gas, of barbed wire. 10 million dead, Europe reduced to rubble. And at the end, in 1918, the empire disappears. The treaties tear everything apart. Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Poland, each piece goes its own way. Each piece forgets. But here it is worth pausing for a moment and asking, what if those 2 pistol shots had never been fired? What if Franz Ferdinand had survived, had reigned, had reformed the empire from within as he intended? What if there had been no First World War? There would have been no Treaty of Versailles, that humiliating peace which turned Germany into a powder keg. There would have been no Hitler, in all likelihood. There would have been no Stalin in power, or perhaps yes, but in an entirely different context. There would have been no Second World War, perhaps. 2 pistol shots, and the 20th century becomes what we know. The world we inhabit today, with its borders, its wounds, its unresolved European tensions, was born in large part from that moment, from that quayside, from that river. What remains of the Habsburgs? The palaces remain, the museums, the cafes where the echo of that civilization can still be felt. There remains a certain idea of government. The idea that whoever rules must embody something, not merely administer, must carry in the body, in the gesture, in the dress, a message about the world. There remains the nostalgia, that stubborn, present, living nostalgia in millions of people who never lived beneath that double-headed eagle, but sense that something has been lost, that the post-Habsburg world is more fragmented, more anxious, more uncertain. And there remains the legend of Sisi, that woman who fled from the empire built by her predecessors, who refused the role and yet was the most beloved face of the entire system, as if beauty always resists. Perhaps that is why we keep returning to them, not out of nostalgia for power, out of nostalgia for form.